Hello students, welcome to Gnana Taranga, a CET NEET program organized by Government of Karnataka and Pre-University Board of Karnataka. So myself, I am Kumar Reddy. Today's topic is aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids. This topic is a very important topic in the entrance exam point of view. Every year we are getting either one or two questions in each and every exam like NEET, JEE and CET. So we shall start with preparations of aldehydes, followed by preparations of ketones, properties, and then go for objective type questions. The first preparation is oxidation of primary alcohols. When primary alcohols are oxidized, we get aldehydes followed by carboxylic acids. But controlled oxidation ends with aldehyde formation. In general, the controlled oxidation is done by Collins reagent. Collins reagent is a mixture of chromium oxide and pyridine. This is also called as pyridinium chlorochromate, which is abbreviated as PCC. And another preparation, that is dehydrogenation of primary alcohols. That is, when primary alcohols are passed through red hot copper, we get aldehydes by dehydrogenation. The third preparation is Rosenmund's reduction. When acid chlorides are reduced in the presence of Lindlar's catalyst, we get aldehydes. Lindlar's catalyst is palladium suspended in barium sulfate. The fourth preparation is hydration of alkynes. When acetylene is hydrated in the presence of dilute sulfuric acid and HgSO4, that is mercuric sulfate, at 60 degrees centigrade, we produce acetaldehyde. You know that acetaldehyde, that is CH3CHO, is also called as ethanol. Followed by another preparation, that is distillation of calcium salt of carboxylic acids with calcium formate. So when any other calcium salts of carboxylic acids are undergoing dry distillation in the presence of calcium formate or with calcium formate, we can see that aldehydes are produced. Instead of calcium formate, if we are using calcium acetate or calcium, any other salts of calcium, we produce ketones. So here we have to remember that if we are using calcium formate only, we produce aldehydes. If calcium formate is not used, we can see that ketones will be produced. This is generally called as dry distillation of calcium salts of carboxylic acids. Next reaction, that is Gattermann-Koch synthesis. You can see here, when benzene is reacted with carbon monoxide, hydrochloric acid in the presence of anhydrous aluminium chloride, benzaldehyde is produced. This reaction is called as Gattermann-Koch synthesis or Gattermann-Koch reaction. So these are the reactions or these are the preparations for aldehydes. Then we shall see the preparations for ketones. So when we are discussing about preparation of aldehydes, there we had observed that oxidation of primary alcohols. Here, oxidation of primary alcohols will be producing aldehydes, whereas oxidation of secondary alcohols will be producing ketones. dehydrogenation of alcohols. So when alcohols are dehydrogenated in the presence of red hot copper, we produce ketones. Hydration of alkynes. When alkynes other than acetylene is hydrolyzed in the presence of dilute H2SO4, HgSO4 at 60 degrees centigrade, we produce ketones. And as I said earlier, if we are going for distillation of calcium salts of carboxylic acids other than calcium formate, we produce ketones. If we use calcium formate, we get aldehydes. So these are the preparations for ketones. Now let us see the properties of aldehydes. You can see here the properties of aldehydes are on the screen here. Let us go clockwise. You can see in the middle you are having aldehyde, RCH4 represents aldehyde, and each and every arrow mark is representing one reaction with a clear explanation about the reactants followed by the products. When aldehydes are treated with Tollens reagent, so Tollens reagent is nothing but ammonical silver nitrate is called as Tollens reagent, we get a black precipitate of silver or a silver mirror. When aldehydes are treated with Fehling solution or Fehling reagent, a red color precipitate is obtained. You know that Fehling reagent means it is a mixture of copper sulfate and sodium potassium tartarate. When aldehydes are treated with Skipp's reagent, we get a pink colored solution. When aldehydes are treated with sodium bisulfite, we get sodium bisulfite of acetaldehyde or aldehydes as white precipitate. The same way, when aldehydes are treated with hydrogen cyanide, cyanohydrins are produced. When aldehydes are treated with semicarbazide, semicarbazone is produced. When aldehyde is reacted with a hydroxylamine, oximes are produced. When an aldehyde is treated with 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine, we produce 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrozones, an orange-yellow precipitate, or which we call it as orange crystalline precipitate also. When aldehydes are treated with phenylhydrazine, we produce phenylhydrazone. When aldehydes are reacted with hydrazine, we produce hydrozones. See here, hydrazone, phenylhydrazone, 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazone. You can see that the common thing they are derived from oximes, or we can say that hydroxylamine, that is NH2OH. So the common thing here, you can see that they are losing water molecule and forming as hydrazone or phenylhydrazone or 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazone or oximes. The same way, when aldehydes are oxidized, carboxylic acids are produced. When aldehydes are reduced, the corresponding alcohols are produced. So as we know that when alcohols are oxidized, we are getting aldehydes. When aldehydes are oxidized, we are getting carboxylic acids. When carboxylic acids are reduced, we get aldehydes. When aldehydes are reduced, we get alcohols. So in a nutshell, we can say that these are the properties of aldehydes. Now let us see the properties of ketones. So here also we shall go on with ketone in the center, and let us see the properties in a clockwise direction. So here the first reaction, that is when ketones are reduced, the presence of zinc amalgam and concentrated HCl, we get corresponding hydrocarbons. This reaction is called as Clemmensen reduction. When ketones, so as we had seen in aldehydes, ketones also react with hydroxylamine to produce hydrozones. Ketones react with phenylhydrazine to produce phenylhydrazone. Ketones reacts with 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazone to produce 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrozones, which is an orange-yellow color precipitate or orange crystalline precipitate. When ketones are reacting with iodine and dilute NaOH, we get an iodoform, an yellow color precipitate, which is called as iodoform. The same way, you can see that when ketone is treated with moist bleaching powder and heated, we will be getting chloroform. When ketone is treated with sodium bisulfite, we get a white crystalline precipitate of sodium bisulfite or a ketone sodium bisulfite. When ketone is treated with hydrogen cyanide, cyanohydrins are produced. When ketone is treated with semicarbazide, semicarbozones are produced. When ketone is treated with hydroxylamine, oximes are produced. When ketone is oxidized in the presence of acidified potassium dichromate or alkaline potassium permanganate, we get corresponding carboxylic acids. When ketones are reduced, we get secondary alcohols. So as we are seeing with respect to aldehydes, there also we had seen such type of reactions. That is, when secondary alcohols are oxidized, we are getting ketones. When ketones are oxidized, we are getting carboxylic acids. Carboxylic acids are reduced to ketones, followed by ketones are reduced to get secondary alcohols. So in these properties of ketones, we can see those common reactions what we had seen in aldehydes and ketones. That is, reaction with HCN, reaction with sodium bisulfite, reaction with hydroxylamine, reaction with hydrazine, reaction with phenylhydrazine, reaction with 2,4-DNP, that is 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine. All these are common reactions where we can see that there is a similarity in the formation of products. Now, with these things what we had seen with respect to the preparations of aldehydes, ketones, properties of aldehydes and ketones, now we shall go for answering of objective type questions in this topic. The first question: in aldehydes and ketones, carbon of carbonyl group is. See, in aldehydes and ketones, we are having a carbon atom which is a double bonded with oxygen, and carbon atom is having two other single bonds also. So, carbon with two single bonds and a double bonded oxygen atom is called as a carbonyl group. If one single bond is bonded with oxygen, then we will be calling it as carboxylic group. But here, since we are discussing about aldehydes and ketones, it is given as carbonyl group. Let us see the options given there. sp3 hybridized carbon atom, sp2 hybridized carbon atom, sp hybridized, or it is not hybridized or unhybridized. Now, you can see the structure of a carbonyl carbon atom. A carbonyl carbon atom is having a double bonded oxygen atom with two single bonds. If it is a ketone, the single bonds will be bonded to other alkyl groups. If it is an aldehyde, one single bond is bonded to alkyl group, the other single bond is bonded to hydrogen. Okay. Now, see here. So, this carbon atom is having a double bond and two single bonds. When a carbon atom is bearing with 4 single bonds, then we will be calling it as sp3 hybridized carbon atom. If a carbon atom is having 2 single bonds and 1 double bond, then we will be calling it as sp2 hybridized carbon atom. If a carbon atom is having 2 double bonds, or if the carbon atom is having 1 triple bond and 1 single bond, then we will be calling that carbon atom as sp hybridized carbon atom. So, in this question, the carbon atom is having 1 double bond and 2 single bonds. That is why this carbon atom is sp2 hybridized carbon atom, and the answer is B. Second question, ethane diol has which function group or groups? Let us see the options given there. 1 ketonic group, 2 aldehydic groups, 1 double bond, or 2 double bonds. If you see the structure of ethane diol, it is having 2 aldehydic function groups like this. So, aldehyde, single bond aldehyde, or the aldehydic carbon atom is bonded with another aldehydic carbon atom. So, since it is having 2 aldehydic function groups, the answer will be B. Third question, which of the aldehyde is most reactive? The options given are benzaldehyde, acetaldehyde, formaldehyde, and the fourth option is given as all are equally reactive. Now, among the carbonyl compounds, the reactivity decreases with increase in alkyl group, as you know that alkyl group shows positive inductive effect or plus inductive effect, due to which it decreases the positive character on the carbon atom. So, therefore, you can see that formaldehyde is more reactive than that of acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is more reactive than that of benzaldehyde. So, the answer is C. Fourth question, the end product in the following sequence of reaction is, they had given a reaction here starting with acetylene with 1% of HgSO4, 20% of H2SO4, which produces A. A is reacting with methyl magnesium halide, so which is called as Grignard reagent, to produce B. B is oxidized such that we are getting a product. And the options given are acetic acid, isopropyl alcohol, acetone, and ethanol. Now, let us see the reaction. When acetylene is treated with 1% of HgSO4 and 20% of H2SO4, we get acetaldehyde. When acetaldehyde is treated with methyl magnesium halide followed by hydrolysis, we produce an alcohol. You can see that the alcoholic function group is on the second carbon atom. So, the compound formed is a secondary alcohol. You can see that in the options A, B, C, D, only B and D are having alcohols as the answers, that is isopropyl alcohol and ethanol. In this isopropyl alcohol and ethanol, you can see that isopropyl alcohol is a secondary alcohol and ethanol is a primary alcohol. And the reaction shows that it is isopropyl alcohol. Now, this isopropyl alcohol is again oxidized. As it is oxidized, we can see that when a secondary alcohol is oxidized, we get acetone, that is CH3COCH3. So, the answer is C. Let us see the fifth question here. Which one of the following compounds is prepared in the laboratory from benzene by a substitution reaction? Glyoxal, cyclohexane, acetophenone, or hexabromocyclohexane. So, he is asking us which one of the following compounds is prepared in the laboratory from benzene. That means to say that benzene is the starting substance. When benzene is reacting with CH3COCl, that is acetyl chloride, in the presence of anhydrous aluminium chloride, we produce acetophenone and HCl. This reaction is called as Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction. So, the answer is C, that is acetophenone. So, acetophenone can be prepared in the laboratory by using benzene and acetyl chloride in the presence of aluminium chloride, where this reaction is called as Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction. Question number 6. When acetyl chloride, that is CH3COCl, is reduced in the presence of palladium suspended in barium sulfate, acetaldehyde and HCl are produced. The above reaction is called as Reimer-Tiemann reaction, Kennesaros reaction, Rosenmund's reduction, or Riffer-Mursky reaction. When acetyl chloride is reduced in the presence of Lindlar catalyst to produce acetaldehyde, this reaction is called as Rosenmund's reduction. So, the answer is C. Question number 7. Dry heating of calcium acetate gives. In other words, dry heating is otherwise called as dry distillation also. Dried heating of calcium acetate gives, the options given are acetaldehyde, ethane, acetic acid and acetone. So, you can see the reaction on the screen. When calcium acetate, so CH3CO over twice Ca is called as calcium acetate. When it is going for a dry heating or a dry distillation, you can clearly see that acetone is produced. As I said earlier, instead of calcium formate, if any other salt, calcium salt of carboxylic acid is taken, we produce ketones. Whereas, if you take calcium formate, an aldehyde will be produced. So, the answer in this question is D, that is acetone. So, dry distillation or dry heating of calcium acetate gives acetone. Eighth question. Isopropyl alcohol on oxidation gives acetone, acetaldehyde, either ethylene. So, you know that isopropyl alcohol, which is the common name of isopropyl alcohol. Its IUPAC name is 2-propanol, which is a secondary alcohol. So whenever a secondary alcohol is undergoing oxidation, we produce ketones. So when isopropyl alcohol, that is 2-propanol, is undergoing oxidation, we produce CH3COCH3, which is acetone, and here the answer is A. Question number 9. Reduction of aldehydes and ketones to hydrocarbon takes place in the presence of. So, reduction of aldehydes and ketones to hydrocarbons, that means when aldehydes or ketones are reduced, hydrocarbons are produced. So, this reaction will be taking place in the presence of, that is the question given to us. Let us see the options given. Number 1, zinc amalgam and HCl. Option number B, palladium and barium sulfate. C, anhydrous aluminum chloride. D, nickel or platinum. Here, if you can see the reactions what we had learnt regarding aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes and ketones can be reduced to hydrocarbons in two different reactions, in two different ways. Number 1, it is Clemmensen reduction. Clemmensen reduction, we use zinc amalgam and hydrochloric acid as the catalyst. And number 2 reaction is Wolff-Kishner reduction, where we use hydrazine as the catalyst. In these two reactions, we can see that aldehydes and ketones can be reduced to hydrocarbons. So, in the given options, zinc amalgam and hydrochloric acid will be the correct answer. So, answer is A. Question number 10. Which of the following is incorrect? On oxidation, it yields benzoic acid. It is perfumery. It is an aromatic aldehyde. It on reduction yields phenol. So actually, the question here is, which of the following is incorrect regarding benzaldehyde? So that is, benzaldehyde is missing in the question there. You can correct it. Which of the following is incorrect regarding benzaldehyde? That is the question. So option A is given that benzaldehyde on oxidation, it yields benzoic acid. Benzaldehyde is used in perfumery industry. Benzaldehyde is an aromatic aldehyde. Benzaldehyde on reduction yields phenol. These are the 4 options given here regarding benzaldehyde. Benzaldehyde on reduction gives benzyl alcohol, not phenol. So that is why D is the wrong statement regarding benzaldehyde. Other than D, that is A, B, C. That means to say that benzaldehyde, when it is oxidized, benzoic acid is produced. Benzaldehyde is widely used in perfumery industry. And you know that benzaldehyde is a good example for aromatic aldehyde. So that is why A, B and C are correct statements, whereas D is wrong, because when benzaldehyde is reduced, we get benzyl alcohol, not phenol. So the answer is D. Question number 11. Aldol condensation will not be observed in chloral, phenyl acetaldehyde, hexanol and ethanol. The 4 options given once again: chloral, phenyl acetaldehyde, hexanol, and ethanol. Aldol condensation, this is a reaction shown by aldehydes which are having alpha hydrogen. What do you mean by alpha hydrogen? So, before that, once we shall remember about what do you mean by an alpha hydrogen, where it is present. Any carbon atom which is bonded with a functional group, any carbon atom which is bonded with a functional group is called as alpha carbon atom, and this functional group must be a primary functional group. This must be a primary functional group. So, the carbon atom which is bonded to primary functional group will be called as alpha carbon atom. If this alpha carbon atom is having hydrogens, those hydrogens will be called as alpha hydrogens. So, carbon atom which is bonded to primary functional group is called as alpha carbon atom, and the hydrogens which are bonded to alpha carbon atom are called as alpha hydrogens. In this question, we are speaking about aldol condensation. Aldol condensation is a reaction shown by aldehydes and ketones which are having alpha hydrogen. So, only those carbon atoms which are having alpha hydrogen can show this reaction. Now, in the given options, if you see phenylacetaldehyde, hexanol and ethanol, you can see that phenylacetaldehyde and hexanol are having alpha hydrogens. Ethanol is an option where you can see that it is an alcohol, it cannot be a aldehyde. And A, chlorol. Chlorol means a carbon atom is having 3 chlorine atoms bonded, and that carbon atom is also having aldehydic functional group. This is called as chlorol. So, chlorol is not having alpha hydrogen. So, chlorol cannot show aldol condensation. So, not only A, D is also an option which will not show aldol condensation because it is given as ethanol. So, A and D both are the chemicals which will not show aldol condensation. Let us go for the next question. Question number 12. Which of the following will undergo aldol condensation? Acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde means ethanol is also called as acetaldehyde, CH3CHO. Propanaldehyde, benzaldehyde, trideuteroacetaldehyde. So, in these 4 options, let us clarify ourselves one by one. From trideuteroacetaldehyde, you know that deuterium is one of the isotope of hydrogen, that is in acetaldehyde, that is CH3CHO. If all these 3 hydrogens are replaced with a deuterium, then it is called as CD3CHO. So, trideuteroacetaldehyde. So, these 3 hydrogens or these 3 deuterium can be called as alpha deuterium. So, whichever aldehyde is having an alpha hydrogen will show aldol condensation. Then acetaldehyde, it is having 3 alpha hydrogens. Propanaldehyde, you can see propanaldehyde means CH3, CH2, CHO. In this, the second carbon atom is alpha carbon atom, it is having 2 hydrogens. So 2 alpha hydrogens are there. Then only benzaldehyde is a compound which is not having any alpha hydrogens. So the answer is C. So aldol condensation is only shown by aldehydes which are having alpha hydrogen. So option A acetaldehyde, option B propanaldehyde, option D trideuteroacetaldehyde. All these 3 are having alpha hydrogen. So only benzaldehyde is not having any alpha hydrogens, so it will not show aldol condensation. Question number 13. Carbonyl compounds react with which of the following reagent to form a colorless crystalline precipitate? Phosphorus pentachloride, hydrogen cyanide, hydroxyl amine, and sodium bisulfite, or which we call it as sodium hydrogen sulfite also. Carbonyl compounds react with sodium bisulfite to form a colorless crystalline product, or which we call it as white crystalline product. You can see the reaction which is shown with acetone, and acetone is reacting with sodium bisulfite. Acetone sodium bisulfite is produced, which is a white crystalline product or colorless crystalline product. So the answer is D. Question number 14. The catalytic reduction of acetaldehyde by hydrogen yields methanol, ethanol, acetic acid, or acetone. These are the 4 options given here. The catalytic reduction of acetaldehyde by hydrogen yields ethanol. You can see here, when acetaldehyde is reduced in the presence of sodium and ethyl alcohol, we produce ethanol. So the answer is B. Question number 15. Which of the following acid shows cis-trans isomerism, which we also call it as geometric isomerism? Benzoic acid, phthalic acid, cinnamic acid, or none of these? You can see the structures of cinnamic acid is given here. As you know that geometrical isomerism is only shown by the compounds where we can see that C double bond C, that is carbon which is bonded with double bond. 2 carbon atoms must be bonded with double bond, which is the primary requirement for geometrical isomerism. So cinnamic acid is showing cis isomer and trans isomer. So this will be the answer for cinnamic acid will be the answer for the question, which of the following acid shows cis-trans isomerism? Question number 16. When red hot copper wire is plunged in ethanol, we get a ketone, formaldehyde, which is called as methanol, acetaldehyde, which is called as ethanol, or C2H5 twice O, which we can call it as a pentanone, the ketone. When a copper wire is hot copper wire with 573 Kelvin of temperature, when it is plugged with ethanol, you can see that immediately dehydrogenation takes place, that is removal of hydrogen takes place, due to which acetaldehyde, which is called as ethanol, is produced. So the answer is C. Which of the following compounds containing carbonyl group will give colored crystalline compound? Which of the following compounds containing carbonyl group will give colored crystalline compound with? So the given structure here is 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine. 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine. The options given are CH3COCl, which is called as acetyl chloride, CH3COCH3, acetone, CH3CO, OC2H5, and CH3CONH2, acetamide. So among the given compounds, only acetone gives crystalline orange colored derivative with 2,4-DNP, that is 2,4-DNP means 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine. So the answer is B. That means to say that aldehydes and ketones react with 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine to produce aldehydic or ketonic 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrozones, which is giving an orange yellow colored precipitate or crystalline orange precipitate. Question number 18. Consider the following statement. Acetone can be prepared by oxidation of 1-phenylethanol, reaction of benzalthanol with methyl magnesium bromide, Friedel-Crafts reaction of benzene with acetyl chloride, distillation of calcium benzoate. So in this question they are asking us about the preparation of acetophenone. Options are given as A, 1 and 2. So that means 1 and 2, that is oxidation of 1-phenylethanol and reaction of benzalthanol with methyl magnesium bromide, or 1 and 4, that is oxidation of 1-phenylethanol or distillation of calcium benzoate, or 1 and 3, that is oxidation of 1-phenylethanol and Friedel-Crafts reaction of benzene with CH3COCl, or 3 and 4, that is Friedel-Crafts reaction of benzene with CH3COCl and distillation of calcium benzoate. You can see the reactions shown on the screen. 1-phenylethanol is oxidized to produce acetophenone, and when benzene is reacting with acetyl chloride, that is CH3COCl, that is Friedel-Crafts reaction, which we call it as a Friedel-Crafts acylation also, produces acetophenone. In both these reactions we can produce acetophenone. So that is why the answer will be C. First and third statements are producing acetones, acetophenones. Question number 19. Which of the following gives aldol condensation? C6H5OH, C6H5CO C6H5, CH3CH2CO CH3, CH3 thrice C CO CH3. you can see here CH3, CH2, CO, CH3 and CH3 thrice CCO, CH3 contain alpha hydrogen. Both these compounds are having alpha hydrogen. So the alpha hydrogens are here, the alpha hydrogens are here. So both these compounds are having alpha hydrogens. Since they are having alpha hydrogens, they can show aldol condensation actually. But D, that is CH3 thrice C, COCH3, in this, on this carbon atom, we are having 3 methyl groups, due to which it is leading to steric hindrance. Due to steric hindrance, it will not show aldol condensation. That is why only C is the correct answer. Question number 20. Which of the following products is formed when benzaldehyde is treated with Grignard reagent and the addition product so obtained is subjected to acid hydrolysis? The options given are secondary alcohol, primary alcohol, phenol or tertiary butyl alcohol. So let us see the question once again. Which of the following products is formed when benzaldehyde is treated with Grignard reagent and the addition product, that is when benzaldehyde is reacting with Grignard reagent, we are going to get a product which is addition product. That addition product is subjected to acid hydrolysis. Now let us see the reaction. When benzaldehyde is treated with Grignard reagent, I am taking here CH3MgBr, methyl magnesium bromide, followed by hydrolysis, we can see that a secondary alcohol is produced. That is OH group present on a secondary carbon atom. So that is why it is called as a secondary alcohol. C6H5CH OHCH3. So answer is A. Question number 21. Which of the following organic compounds exhibit positive failing test as well as iodoform test? Methanol, which is also called as formaldehyde, ethanol, which we call it as ethyl alcohol, propanone, which we call it as acetone, ethanol, which we call it as acetaldehyde. Ethanol is the compound among these 4 options which gives a positive test for iodoform and which gives a positive test for failing solution also. So that is why answer is D. Ethanol, which is nothing but acetaldehyde, is giving a positive test towards failing solutions, failing A and B, and as well as iodoform reaction also. Question number 22. Acetaldehyde cannot show iodoform test, Lucas test, Benedict's test or Tollens test. If you see the options given here, iodoform, Lucas, Benedict's and Tollens. In these 4, iodoform, Benedict's and Tollens test are the 3 tests we are having which are directly used in order to identify aldehydes. Whereas Lucas test is the test which is used in order to identify primary, secondary and tertiary alcohols. For your information, I had given the reactions how Lucas reagent is used in order to identify primary, secondary and tertiary alcohols. So Lucas test is only used in order to identify primary, secondary and tertiary alcohols, not acetaldehyde or aldehydes. So that is why answer is B. Acetaldehyde will not show Lucas test. Question number 23. benzyl alcohol and sodium benzoate is obtained by the action of sodium hydroxide on benzaldehyde. This reaction is known as Perkins reaction, Kennesaros reaction, Sandmeyer's reaction, or Claisen condensation. If you see, benzyl alcohol and sodium benzoate is obtained. That means to say that when benzaldehyde is treated with sodium hydroxide, the products formed are benzyl alcohol and sodium benzoate. See, whenever benzaldehyde or aldehydes are reacting with bases, when aldehydes are reacting with bases, we are having two types of reactions. That is, one is aldol condensation, the second one is Kennesaros reaction. Aldol condensation is shown by the aldehydes which are having alpha hydrogen only. The aldehydes which are not having alpha hydrogen will be showing Kennesaros reaction. And since benzaldehyde is an aldehyde which is not having alpha hydrogen, therefore, this reaction is nothing but Kennesaros reaction. So, in Kennesaros reaction, when benzaldehyde is treated with sodium hydroxide solution, we produce benzyl alcohol and sodium benzoate. In this, we use two benzaldehyde molecules. One molecule is oxidized to form benzoic acid. Another molecule is reduced to produce benzyl alcohol. So, that is a speciality of this reaction, that is Kennesaros reaction, where you can see oxidation as well as reduction. Oxidation product is benzoic acid, reduction product is benzyl alcohol. So, the answer is B, Kennesaros reaction. Question number 24. To distinguish between formaldehyde and acetaldehyde, we require Tollens reagent, Fehling solution, Skiff's reagent, or caustic soda. As you know that Tollens reagent, Fehling solution, and Skiff's reagent are used in order to identify aldehydes, whereas we need to know about caustic soda solution. Caustic soda solution is nothing but sodium hydroxide solution. NaOH solution is called as sodium hydroxide solution, caustic soda solution. And you know that acetaldehyde, that is CH3CHO, formaldehyde, that is HCHO. CH3CHO is having 3 alpha hydrogens, whereas formaldehyde is not having alpha hydrogens. That is, formaldehyde is a compound which is not having alpha hydrogen. So, since formaldehyde is not having alpha hydrogen, it will be undergoing Kennesaros reaction with caustic soda solution. So, therefore, it is producing methyl alcohol, that is methanol, and sodium formate. Whereas, when acetaldehyde is reacted with caustic soda solution, it shows aldol condensation reaction and forms an aldol. So, we say that caustic soda solution is the solution which is used in order to differentiate between formaldehyde and acetaldehyde. So, the answer is D, caustic soda solution or sodium hydroxide solution. Question number 25. Which of the following will not give iodoform test? Ethanol, ethanol, 2-propanone, 3-pentanone. The aldehydes and ketones containing CH3CO group only show iodoform reaction. The aldehydes and ketones which are having CH3CO group will show iodoform reaction. If they are not having, if the compounds are not having CH3CO group, they will not show iodoform reaction. So, CH3CH2CO CH2CH3, that is propanone, pentanone, 3-pentanone is not having CH3CO group. So, the answer is D. Now, you may get a doubt why B, ethanol, is also showing iodoform reaction. Ethanol, when it is oxidized, it is producing acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is having CH3CO group, which shows iodoform reaction. So, even ethanol shows iodoform reaction because ethanol will be converted into ethanol. Ethanol is having CH3CO group and it shows iodoform reaction. So, that is why ethanol, ethanol, 2-propanone, all the three options, that is A, B, C, they are having CH3CO group. That is why they are showing iodoform reaction, whereas D, that is 3-pentanone, will not have or is not having CH3CO group. That is why it is not showing iodoform reaction. Question number 26. The light yellow compound produced when acetone reacts with iodine and alkali is CH3CO CH2I, CH3I, CHI3, none of this. Here you can see that CHI3, you know that acetone, that is CH3CO CH3. When CH3CO CH3, which is having CH3CO group, is reacting with an iodine and alkali, it shows iodoform reaction, or it leads to iodoform reaction and forms iodoform, which is an yellow colored compound. This reaction is also called as iodoform reaction. So, the answer is C, CHI3. Iodoform formula is CHI3. Question number 27. Acetaldehyde reacts with methyl magnesium chloride. The final product is an aldehyde, a ketone, a primary alcohol, or a secondary alcohol. The thing is, always when aldehydes are reacting, aldehydes and ketones are reacting with a Grignard reagent, always it is followed by acid hydrolysis, because to end the reaction, it is always, we have to see that it is ended with acid hydrolysis. So, when acetaldehyde is reacted with ethyl magnesium chloride, it is forming an addition compound, followed by hydrolysis, it produces an alcohol. So, the compound formed is 1-methyl-propanol, which is a secondary alcohol. That means, when we take acetaldehyde, we produce 1-methyl-propanol, which is a secondary alcohol. This is a reaction with a Grignard reagent followed by acid hydrolysis. So, the answer is D, secondary alcohol. Question number 28. Aromatic aldehydes undergo disproportionation in the presence of sodium or potassium hydroxide to give corresponding alcohol and an acid. This reaction is known as Wood's reaction, Kennesaro's reaction, Friedel-Crafts reaction, or Claysen's reaction. As we discussed earlier, aldehydes and ketones, or aldehydes which are not having alpha hydrogen, they react with sodium or potassium hydroxide to produce a carboxylic acid and an alcohol. During the production of a carboxylic acid in this reaction, oxidation is taking place, and during the production of an alcohol, it is going on with reduction. That means to say that oxidation and reduction are taking place in a compound. Such reactions in which oxidation and reduction are taking place in the same compound, that reaction is called as disproportionation reaction. Such reaction is called as Cannizzaro reaction. You can see the reaction here. When two molecules of benzaldehyde are treated with concentrated sodium hydroxide, you can see that sodium benzoate is produced and benzyl alcohol are produced. So sodium benzoate, or this salt produced, is a oxidation product, whereas C6H5CH2OH is a reduction product. So oxidation and reduction are taking place. So this reaction is called as a disproportionation reaction, and this reaction name is Cannizzaro reaction. So the answer is B. Question number 29. The alkaline copper sulfate containing sodium potassium tartrate does not react with. So first you have to know that alkaline copper sulfate mixed with sodium potassium tartrate is called as failing solution. In this, alkaline copper sulfate is called as failing A, sodium potassium tartrate is called as failing B. The mixture of failing A and failing B together is called as failing solution. So the alkaline copper sulfate containing sodium potassium tartrate does not react with acetaldehyde, that is ethanol, propanol, C6H5CH2CHO, C6H5CHO. The solution alkaline copper sulfate containing sodium potassium tartrate represented as failing solution, as we already discussed, and it has no tendency to oxidize the benzaldehyde because it is not having a carbon atom, alpha carbon atom, that is to say that alpha hydrogen there, due to which answer is D. Question number 30. The correct order of reactivity of the following. The reactivity of the following, here the compounds are given as CH3CHO, C2H5COCH3, CH3COCH3. The options given here are: acetaldehyde is more reactive than that of acetone. Acetone is more reactive than that of 2-butanone. 2-butanone is more reactive than that of acetone. Acetone is more reactive than that of acetaldehyde. Acetone is more reactive than that of acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is more reactive than that of 2-butanone. Acetone is more reactive than that of 2-butanone. 2-butanone is more reactive than that of acetaldehyde. These are the four options given. Increasing alkyl group, the reactivity decreases. So as we are increasing the alkyl groups on the functional group, we can see that reactivity will be decreased. So therefore, acetaldehyde is more reactive than that of acetone. Acetone is more reactive than that of 2-butanone. So the answer is D. Question number 31. Which of the following does not turn Skipp's reagent to pink? Formaldehyde, benzaldehyde, acetone, acetaldehyde. So aqueous solution of ferrarozoaniline hydrochloric chloride decolorized by passing sulfur dioxide is called as Skipp's reagent. Now when Skipp's reagent is added to any aldehyde, it turns a Skipp's reagent, that is colorless Skipp's reagent, into pink colored solution. So ketones will not turn Skipp's reagent pink. So therefore, acetone will not turn Skipp's reagent to pink color. So that is why C is the correct answer. Question number 32. Acetaldehyde and acetone differ in their reaction with sodium bisulfite, ammonia, phosphorus pentachloride, phenyl hydrazine. Here you can see when acetaldehyde is reacting with ammonia, and when acetone is reacting with ammonia. So both the reactions are clearly given here. A different type of products are produced here, due to which we say that because ammonia is showing two different products, so B is the correct answer here. Question number 33. The final product formed when acetaldehyde is reduced with sodium and alcohol is ethylene, ethyl alcohol, ethene, all of these. So acetaldehyde, when it is reduced in the presence of sodium and ethyl alcohol, we produce ethyl alcohol as the product, that is a primary alcohol will be produced. So that is why the answer is B. Question number 34. The compound obtained by the reduction of propanaldehyde by amalgamated zinc and concentrated HCl is. So whenever we are using amalgamated zinc and concentrated HCl, that reaction will be called as Clemmensen reduction. When propanaldehyde is reduced in the presence of zinc amalgam and HCl, we produce propane. So the answer is B. Question number 35. The typical reaction of aldehyde is electrophilic addition, nucleophilic substitution, nucleophilic addition, nucleophilic elimination. So nucleophilic addition of hydrogen cyanide, sodium bisulfite, these reactions we can call it them as typical reactions of aldehydes. Because their aldehydic functional group is converted into alcohol and a new group will be added here. So that is why these reactions will be called as typical reactions. So the answer is C. Question number 36. Which of the following reagents is used to distinguish between acetone and acetophenone? You know that CH3COCH3 is acetone, C6H5COCH3 is acetophenone. Options given are sodium bisulfite, Grignard reagent, sodium sulfite, ammonium chloride. Acetone forms sodium bisulfate adduct, but acetophenone does not. Aromatic ketones does not give additional product with NaHSO3. This is due to steric hindrance. So as a steric hindrance, due to steric hindrance in aromatic ketones, you can see that they are not reacting with NaHSO3. So when acetone is reacting with NaHSO3, a white crystalline precipitate is produced, whereas when it is reacted with acetophenone, crystalline precipitate is not produced. So that gives us a test for distinguishing between acetone and acetophenone. So the answer is A, sodium bisulfite. Question number 37. The product formed by the reaction of chlorine with benzaldehyde, is it chlorobenzene or benzyl chloride or benzoyl chloride or orthochlorobenzaldehyde? So when benzaldehyde is reacting with chlorine, that is C6H5CH4 is reacting with chlorine, we are producing C6H5COCl, which is called as benzoyl chloride. So this answer is C. Question number 38. Cinnamic acid is formed when benzaldehyde condenses with CH3CO twice O. This CH3CO twice O is nothing but acetic anhydride. Okay. So cinnamic acid is formed when benzaldehyde condenses with acetic anhydride in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid, sodium acetate, sodium metal, or anhydrous zinc chloride. can see the reaction. When benzaldehyde is reacting with acetic anhydride, which is taking place in the presence of sodium acetate, we produce a cinnamic acid. So, this reaction is called as a Perkins reaction. Benzaldehyde, when it is reacting with acetic anhydride in the presence of sodium acetate, cinnamic acid is produced. This reaction is called as Perkins reaction. So, since sodium acetate is used as the catalyst here, answer is B. Question number 39. Formaldehyde reacts with ammonia to give atropine. The formula of formaldehyde reacts with ammonia to give urotropine. The formula of urotropine is CH2 6 times N4, CH2 4 times N3, CH2 6 times N6, CH2 thrice N3. So, when formaldehyde is reacting with ammonia, urotropine is produced. This urotropine is named as hexamethylene tetraamine, which is commonly called as urotropine. This is used as an antiseptic and germicide. So, answer is A. Hexamethylene tetraamine is called as urotropine, which is used as an antiseptic and germicide. Question number 40. Which compound is soluble in water? Formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, acetone. All. So, all these compounds, that is to say that formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, acetone, all these compounds are having the capability of forming intermolecular hydrogen bonds with water. Since they are able to form intermolecular hydrogen bonds with water, they can dissolve in water or soluble in water. That is why. So, all these are soluble in water. So, answer is D. Question number 41. Which gives lactic acid on hydrolysis after reacting with hydrogen cyanide by acid hydrolysis? Formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, benzaldehyde, acetone. So, when acetaldehyde is reacting with hydrogen cyanide followed by acid hydrolysis, lactic acid is produced. So, answer is B, acetaldehyde. Which give differences between aldehyde and ketone? Failing solution, Tollens reagent, Skiff's reagent, Benedict solution. Failing solution is a mixture of alkaline copper sulfate and sodium potassium tartarate. Tollens reagent is a mixture of ammonium hydroxide and silver nitrate. Skiff's reagent is para-rosa aniline hydrochloride, or it is also called as a magenta. Benedict solution is alkaline copper sulfate and citrate ions. All these solutions or all these reagents are used to distinguish between aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes react with these reagents while ketones does not react. That means to say that A, B, C, D, all the 4 reagents given are used in order to distinguish between aldehyde and a ketone. That is why answer is A, B, C, D, all the 4. Question number 43. An organic compound A has the molecular formula and it undergoes iodoform reaction. When saturated with dilute H2SO4, gives B of molecular formula. A and B respectively are propanol, mesitylene, propanone and mesithyl oxide, propanone 2,6-dimethyl, 2,5-heptadiene 4-one, propanone, mesitylene oxide. The compound A with formula C3H6O gives iodoform test. It is propanone. Forms a compound B having carbon atoms 3 times the number of carbon atoms in propanone. It is 2,6-dimethyl 2,5-heptadiene 4-one. So the answer is C. Question number 44. Aldehyde and ketones can decolorized by bromine water, quicklime, dilute sulfuric acid, and none of these. Here, even though aldehydes and ketones, carbon is bearing with C double bond O, it cannot be considered as a unsaturated compound. It is a stable compound because C double bond O is present in the functional group. If a double bond or a triple bond is present between the carbon atoms, then only we will be considering such compounds as unsaturated compounds. Those unsaturated compounds will be decolorizing these solutions. So aldehydes and ketones are colorless and they are stable compounds. So none of these can decolorize them. Question number 45. The most suitable reagent for the conversion of alcohol to aldehyde is potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate, chromium oxide, pyridine chlorochromate. So as we seen in the beginning itself, pyridine chlorochromate PCC, which is also called as Colen's reagent, is widely used to go for conversion of an alcohol into an aldehyde because it is a very good reagent. It checks further oxidation of aldehyde to carboxylic acids. That is, we can restrict the reaction at the formation of aldehydes only. So that is why PCC will be the correct answer. Option D is the correct answer. Now, let us see the questions from carboxylic acids. Question number 46. The name of the compound having the structure is, so they had given a structure ClCH2CH2COOH. Is it 3-chloropropanoic acid, 2-chloropropanoic acid, 2-chloroethanoic acid, or chlorosuccinic acid? So you can see here, as you know that carboxylic acid functional group, that is COOH, is the primary functional group here, and it is bearing with a carbon atom. That is why the carbon atom is given first, number 1. So that is why third carbon atom is bearing with chlorine. So that is why the answer is 3-chloropropanoic acid. 3-chloropropanoic acid, option A is the correct answer. Question number 47. The general formula for monocarboxylic acids is CnHnCOOH or CnH2n plus 1 COOH, CnH2n minus 1 COOH, CnH2nO2. Which will be the correct general formula for monocarboxylic acids? Monocarboxylic acids, which are also called as alkanoic acids or alkyl carboxylic acids, will be having the general formula CnH2n plus 1 COOH. This can also be written as CnH2nO2. CnH2nO2. So that is why B and D option, both the options will be the correct answers for question number 47. Question number 48. The product D of the reaction, CH3Cl reacting with KCN produces A reacting with water produces B reacting with ammonia produces C on heating produces D, and they are asking us what is D. CH3CH2NH2 or CH3CN or HCONH2 or CH3CONH2. So let us see the reaction here. when chloromethane is reacting with potassium cyanide, it loses potassium chloride and produces a methyl cyanide, or which is also called as ethane nitrile. Ethane nitrile on hydrolysis produces ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid, which is nothing but acetic acid, reacts with ammonia to produce ammonium acetate. CH3COO NH4 is called as ammonium acetate. Ammonium acetate, when it is heated, loses water molecule and produces a CH3CONH2, which is called as acetamide. So acetamide is the product, final product produced here. So that is why D is the correct option. Question number 49. 2 moles of acetic acid are heated with phosphorus pentoxide. The product is 2 moles of ethyl alcohol, formic anhydride, acetic anhydride, or 2 moles of methyl cyanide. So here 2 moles of acetic acid are heated with P2O5. You know that phosphorus pentoxide is a very good dehydrating agent, that is, it helps in removal of water molecules. When 2 moles of acetic acid is heated with phosphorus pentoxide, a water molecule is removed such that acetic anhydride, that is, when water molecule is removed from 2 molecules of acetic acid, we produce acetic anhydride. So this is the reaction here showing acetic anhydride formation. So this is acetic anhydride after the removal of water molecule. So water molecule will be removed like this. So as the water molecule is removed, we can see that acetic anhydride is produced. So this acetic anhydride is the answer. So C is the correct answer. Question number 50. Acetic acid will be obtained on oxidation of ethanol, propanol, propanol, methanol, or glyoxal. So when ethanol, that is ethyl alcohol, is oxidized, we produce acetic acid. So option A is the correct answer. Question number 51. Salicylic acid is prepared from phenol by Riemer-Tiemann reaction, coal-base reaction, coal-base electrolysis, none of this. So here we are asked to prepare salicylic acid from phenol. So when phenol is treated with carbon tetrachloride in the presence of sodium hydroxide, followed by acid hydrolysis, finally the product is salicylic acid. So this reaction is called as a Riemer-Tiemann reaction. This reaction is called as Riemer-Tiemann reaction. This reaction you will be learning in phenols also. So that is why answer A is the correct option. Question number 52. Which of the following reduces Tollens reagent? Acetic acid, citric acid, oxalic acid, or formic acid? So Tollens reagent, so already when we are discussing about aldehydes and ketones, there we came across this word called as Tollens reagent. Tollens reagent is a substance called as ammonical silver nitrate, which is used to identify aldehydes. When aldehydes are heated with this Tollens reagent, a black color precipitate or a silver mirror will be produced. So only the compounds which are having aldehydic group will be showing this reaction. Now, if you see the 4 options in this, the correct option is formic acid, HCOOH. When we write the structure of this formic acid, you can clearly see HCOH can be written here. So in the box you can see HC double bond O. So generally an aldehydic functional group is a CHO, which will be represented like this, HC double bond O. So due to presence of this aldehydic functional group, formic acid will be showing the reaction with the Tollens reagent. That is, when formic acid is treated with Tollens reagent, we can see that a silver mirror is produced. So the correct answer is option D. Question number 53. Formic acid shows all the tests of aldehydic group because it has one aldehyde group, it is a member of aldehyde, all acids show tests of aldehyde or does not show any test. So as the previous question, the same thing, that is, since it is having an aldehyde group in its formula, this will be showing the tests of all the aldehydic groups. So that is why answer is A. Question number 54. Acetic acid is a weak acid than sulfuric acid because it decomposes on increasing temperature, it has a less degree of ionization, it has COOH group, none of this. So acetic acid ionizes partially. So as you know that acetic acid is a good example for weak acid because it ionizes partially. Its ionization takes place slowly. Since its ionization is taking place slowly or partially, it is a weak acid. Whereas sulfuric acid, you know that it is ionizing readily, ionizes completely. So therefore, acetic acid is having less degree of ionization. That is, its degree of ionization is less than 1. Degree of ionization. So degree of ionization is the concept which will be explaining us about the strength of the acid. If the degree of ionization is greater than 1, if it is 1, we can say that they are strong acids. If it is less or very much less than 1, they will be considered as weak acids. So the answer is B. Question number 55. In this reaction, acetic acid treated with lithium aluminum hydride to produce A, which is followed by reaction with iodine and sodium hydroxide to produce B, followed by reaction with silver dust to produce C. And they are asking us what is C. The option given are C2H5I, C2H5OH, C2H2 and CH3COCH3. Let us see the reaction. When acetic acid is reduced in the presence of lithium aluminum hydride, ethyl alcohol is produced. Ethyl alcohol, when it is treated with iodine and sodium hydroxide, first it produces acetaldehyde followed by iodoform, that is CHI3 is iodoform. When iodoform is treated with silver, it produces acetylene, that is ethine. So C is ethine, C2H2. So answer C will be the correct option. Question number 56. Acetic acid exists as a dimer in benzene solution. This is due to condensation, presence of COOH group, presence of alpha hydrogen, or hydrogen bonding. Here I am giving you the structure of two carboxylic acid molecules in benzene solution. You can see when two carboxylic acid compounds are present, the two carboxylic acids are joined with intermolecular hydrogen bonds. So here is one intermolecular hydrogen bond and here one is one intermolecular hydrogen bond. Due to the formation of these intermolecular hydrogen bonds, we can see that in benzene, carboxylic acetic acid is existing as a dimer. Existing as a dimer. Di means two, mer means molecules. Two molecules together, they will be present in benzene. Question number 57. Acetic acid dissolved in benzene shows a molecular mass of. So you know that acetic acid is having its molecular formula as CH3COOH, whose molecular mass is 60 actually. But when it is dissolved in benzene, you can see that it is forming a dimer. That means two molecules together, due to which its molecular mass will be doubled. That is, the answer is C, 120. Question number 58. Which of the following orders of relative strengths of acids is correct? So here you can see that there are given 4 options here. They are related with fluoroacetic acid, chloroacetic acid and bromoacetic acid. So when A, B, C, D, if you see the options there, so we can go for the explanation of it. So acidity decreases with the decrease in electronegativity of the halogen. You know that fluorine is more electro than that of chlorine, chlorine is more electronegative than that of bromine. So that is why fluoroacetic acid will be more acidic than that of chloroacetic acid. Chloroacetic acid will be more acidic than that of bromoacetic acid. So option A is the correct answer for question number 58. Question number 59. The treatment of benzoic acid will give, treatment of benzoic acid with this chlorine and FeCl3 gives para-chlorobenzoic acid, ortho-chlorobenzoic acid, 2,4-dichlorobenzoic acid or meta-chlorobenzoic acid. You can see the reaction here. When benzoic acid is treated with chlorine in the presence of ferric chloride FeCl3, you can see that meta-chlorobenzoic acid is produced. Meta-chlorobenzoic acid is produced. So the correct answer is D, option D. Question number 60. When acetic acid is treated with chlorine in the presence of red phosphorus, chloroacetic acid is produced and HCl also. This reaction is also called as Hell-Volhard-Zelensky reaction, Bridge reaction, Rosenman reaction or Huns-Dicker reaction. So in this reaction, alpha hydrogen is replaced by chlorine and this reaction is called as Hell-Volhard-Zelensky reaction, or which is also simply called as HVZ reaction. So the correct option is A. So with these all questions, I hope they are very much useful for you. They'll be giving you a boost up for your coming NEET, JEE or CET examination. So thank you for giving this opportunity. I thank the department and the people who are taking care of this, giving an opportunity to all the students to approach for NEET or JEE or CET, whatever entrance exams we are having for your future studies. Thank you.